Welcome to Center of Light, all my dear friends. Tonight we're going to be talking about the most amazing experience in life. That's called death. Get my microphone a little closer. I want y'all to hear me. I have no experience to my conscious recollection to be any sort of teacher about death. But I can tell you what I know it's like to leave my body into higher levels of spirit. I assume they're the same. I assume. Make that clear. Because I know the pull, I know the tug. How it feels to move from something so dense, so solid. Solid. We think this is real until we become self-identified with ourselves in a higher way. That's a beautiful thing. That means we're expanding into beautiful possibilities, other ideas, other realities. So tonight we're going to be speaking about death. I may sound like I'm joking, maybe because I have some deeper issues about it myself. Or maybe I'm making light of it, or maybe in a funny way, in making light of it, I'm trying to shed light on an idea. This beautiful idea of a presentation came to me from someone who will remain nameless, that they're going through, I want to be careful, not to offend my friend, because no one knows who it is, so it doesn't matter. But I want to be responsible as a teacher, that they are in a place, and not a good one. And if it's truly, I'm not doubting the person, surrounding death coming nigh, coming near, it could be nerving. I get it. I'm human. But I would like to go through my rant, my spiritual, metaphysical, love for God, vesseling within myself. This is actually an exercise for me. You just happen to be bored out of your skull and come in here to hang out. Or you like me because you think I'm cute, or whatever the excuse would be. So I'm going to try to figure this out myself by trusting that my prayer to Father, Mother is going to be answered through me as I vocalize the impressions I get back simply for wanting to contact Father, Mother. So you see, already I'm vesseling, because the contacting Father and Mother on the earth is no different than being in contact with Father and Mother there. It's because I'm praying, which is speaking, and I'm meditating, so I'm listening. So there is a two-way dialogue happening, and it requires both to communicate. That's what this is truly about. All the other bells and whistles, the props and the candles and all that, it's for me because I love it. So we're going to be talking about the most amazing transition in life. What we know is called to be death. No one gets out of here alive. Every breath you take, the inevitable Mr. Anderson draws nigh. Break on through to the other side. Break on through. Ow! It's all coming. The Grim Reaper is coming. Check it out. I'm making fun because I'm making light. Because it is very honest as I make my fun and my light. No one will be unscathed. No one is exempt. Hello, Brett. Hello, Robert. Sana, Charles, Natalie, Rena, Krista, Josh Haynes in the house. That's the gentleman you saw singing a minute ago. Daniel Dwight. Leonard, what's up, Junior? Roderick, excuse me, Janelle, Cheryl, hi Cheryl, John, Karma, Shasha, Lois, Brett, Gary, Sadisha, Andre Chauvin. What's up, girlfriend? George, Libby, Rena, Linda, Alsana, Kevin, Rick, Nathaniel. Wow, what a great name, Nathaniel. And if I missed you, my apologies. I'm going to continue to move forth. Let me look here to see who's here. I like knowing who's here. It helps me to spend my energy. Robert, what's up, brother? Scott, gunslinging guitar player. What a slow hand blues player. And he's got some speed now. But he milks the musical teat when he plays guitar. And you can thank me later, Scott. You can use that slogan, motto for yourself. I milk the musical teat. So tonight we're talking about death. It's a scary thing. But does it have to be? We may be also talking about why it's scary because of the people that we leave behind. And maybe that is not so much priority. Maybe we're not giving them credit that they know what to do, that they're, quote, old enough or yet even spiritually mature enough. Just because in their youth they may have not experienced death. And all these different fragments of why one will not let go to the capacity of wanting to allow themselves initiation back into the garden. I'm checking. So people, hello everyone on Facebook watch party. I got a message from Scott that he made a post, so I'll see it later, my brother. So as we move forward, hello Lahai, Introp. Death, dying, sickness, illness, disabilities. Strangely, it may help to alleviate that whoever is in a situation of dying by something you did to bring about your own death. It may help you to be at ease to understand that we're all doing it to ourselves. Just because someone lives 5 years, 10 years, 20 years longer than you does not mean anything whatsoever that they lived better than you. How was that? Just because someone lives longer than you does not mean that they live better than you. So you're not dead until you're dead. Until then, it is whoever's responsibility, requirement for a higher level, obligation, duty, all these other words we can use to attribute to one's passing, or rather one's life until their passing. Strangely, I often have this thought. If I was a vegan, which I'm not, but if I was a vegan, God forbid I was on death row, and I get the final meal, would I have a steak, which I haven't had in years because I'm a vegan? Even though I'm not. I use this as a metaphor that I ask myself, it's a lesson for me. So if I was a vegan and I was on death row, and Dead man walking. I go down the aisle and they say, here's your final meal. Would you choose a ribeye? The idea is one would choose the integrity for however long they own the vessel. Same thing applies here, said differently. So while one is alive, one should live fully, absolutely fully. Death will do its thing regardless. Death will do its thing regardless. And it doesn't need anyone's help at all. Doesn't need anyone's help. It's coming. It's inevitable for everyone. What I would suggest is you ask yourself, look at yourself in such an honest way, knowing that death is coming. God has a sense of humor beyond what you can possibly imagine. Death is coming for every one of you. Breath by breath comes the point when you have no more breath. That's kind of the joke. In such ideas, postulating, allowing oneself to laugh at the reality that besets all of us, takes the load off, takes the stress out, which allows us to actually live deeper. And then, when we touch the soul, finally, hear me, my brethren and sistren, when you touch the soul, your fear of death flees from you. It just simply vanishes. Death, it sounds so dark. I'm not making fun. I'm making light. Death, it is so dark. You see the demon or the grim reaper with the sickle ready to snatch your head off of your shoulders. And then you see this winged person, an angel, which we all are, so to speak, looking towards the light. So let's shed light on the subject so we can see through all the charade of it. And when we make contact with the spirit, likewise, the light begins to shine again. You feel no disconnect. And so our fear of death begins to leave us and leave us alone. If you are in such a situation that requires attention because it's coming soon, my blessings. But for all of us, we are all in such a situation, and it's coming soon. And no one knows the hour the shoe is going to drop, or the Grim Reaper kisses you on your face and says, "Hi, remember me?" And you won't have a choice in the matter. What is our choice is connecting to the source of infinite creation and light that illuminates the body. I recently had an interview on Center of Light Radio, and the woman said, when the soul is ready to exit the body and the body's not, nothing's going to happen. When the body is ready and the soul is not, nothing is going to happen. It takes a shake hands deal between the higher and the lower for it to happen. Because though your body may seem trivial, it is a living organism. So it has its own consciousness that needs to be permissioned with. Tonight we're talking about don't fear the Reaper. Tonight's presentation, Center of Light, Life. Don't fear the reaper. What we are fearing is the unknown. All of the unknown in our lives we are afraid of. The thing that is less troublesome even as death. But why am I so afraid of that too? Because it always goes right back to the root cause. And the root cause is I'm scared. In fact, listen to this. This makes the point. This is where integration is happening with me, not only as a teacher, but as a student. This just dawned upon me. What happens when you're scared to jump off the high diving board? What is your resolve? You say, I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death to dive. I'm scared to death to fly. I'm scared to death to be in small spaces. You're scaring yourself to death. Fear is not life. Fear is death. Love is life. Love is breath. Wow! I love it. That was just delivered to you as the gift of a gift of life. And through me, I get to feel the same blessing. Likewise, when we realize, you see, last night when you went to sleep and you went unconscious and you dreamed and you feel that tug, and that tug, you come back to the room. The reason you ran away from that bear or that mountain lion chasing you in your dream last night, because you thought it was real. And then when you woke up, you realized you could have said, that animal could have mauled me and I would have woke up just fine this morning. Likewise, you think because you live 75, 80, whatever years, if you're lucky with current technology, that when you die, there's any difference? You're going to feel the same tug that brings you back to your spiritual bedroom that says, what a crazy dream I had last night. As above, so below. So it puts death in another perspective. When you have an out-of-body experience, I'm assuming that when you leave your body and the density of your body to play in the spirit realm, which everyone on this earth that has ever been born has done. You may not know that's what you did. You may not even call it that. Doesn't negate the fact that when you left your body, you went to spirit. The only difference in death is you leave the body the same way, you just don't come back. You stay in the dream world, Neo. Hello, Alan Bone. Hello, Carolyn. Robert again. Katerina. Alan, if you're still here, I tagged you because of the GTA song I played a little bit ago. Welcome, everyone, to Center of Light. Let me go to YouTube and say hi to those. Hello, Preet. Eden Sky Blanchard. He posted earlier. Hello, everyone. Let me look into the... Cheryl says she's just laying there. Everybody's just hanging out. Hi, Kelly. Holly, everyone, if you're still here. Let's see who's still here. I'm going to look here. That says Kelly's here. Scott's here. Lois is here. Welcome, people. Tonight, we're talking about the greatest experience in life. Hello, Steve. Hello, Mitchell. The greatest experience of life, ironically, is death. Is it not the greatest experience in life? It's great to those who lose you or lose a loved one, but it's also magnanimous universally to the person that exits the body and goes back to the cosmos. I'm going to take a short pause, but right now I want to drop a link into this forum from an interview I've done a few years ago on Center of Light Radio with Dr. John Robertson. At your leisure, if death and what death is, and how to be in it gracefully, gracefully, die gracefully. That interview is so amazing with this beautiful man. It changed my life. We're all dying. Not only are we all going to die, you are dying already, regardless of who you are. And for those who may be immediately in death's proximity, don't play that. You can choose not to play that game with yourself. Yeah, but I still want to live. Maybe you are completely absolved, to use a word, of your sin. Maybe you have completed your soul contract. Is it possible? With God, all things are possible. Give yourself some grace as you live, as you die gracefully. We're all dying. You don't just all of a sudden die. It may happen that way in a car accident, but even so that, you don't just all of a sudden die. Death is moving and integrating into your experience as you continue to exist. Krista says, I am terrified of dying. This is a fear that has a deep grip on me. I can't imagine leaving this world. It has never felt right to me. How can I be free of this? By asking such a question is your first step. So you've already started the process. I'm going to take a short pause. Going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. I got another special musical nugget for you. This was quite a few years ago. The guy in the middle you're going to see singing this song is the bass player for Starship, Jeff Adams, Singing Boy. This was a singing band, a very powerful band. And you know who's in it. A lot of fun. I'm going to start incorporating different aspects of musical periods of my life and to my presentations. This was by a band that was called the second upgrade of King's Trio. Let me find it. Give me a sec.
All right by now. I'll wait till they're sitting. Take me away.
people. Welcome back to Center of Light. I want to address something immediately. My friend is in the room. Cheryl revealed herself. She is the beautiful inspiration for why I am doing this presentation tonight, to provide at least some alleviation for your woes about death. I am now speaking directly to Cheryl. She revealed herself. I was not going to mention her name. So now that she was so brave to step up and say this is what's happening, or at least she believes, because some of her family doesn't. They say she's been saying she's dying for many, many years. This is not to call you out, Cheryl. This is to call you up. So between what people say and between what you are experiencing as your reality is something else. And that something else is why you are here and have been contacting me, which I love. I love learning. But why you are here, that's the something else. And that something else is you are here because you want to hear something. I applaud that tremendously. You are here, are you not, because you want to hear something that alleviates what you would call suffering. No part of you can deny what I just asked you. This is not to call you out. It's to call you up. No part of you can deny the question that you are here. Inspired me, in fact, today, because you sent me a message this morning that you are dying. I'm not here to trivialize your beautiful experience. I want to empower you with the effulgence of life to the brilliance of 10,000 suns, if that's what you desire. Until then, you're going to find yourself killing yourself simply by worry because you're scared to death. But Keith, my family, okay. How long is Keith, my family, going to continue to be a grim reaper ready to just chop your head off? How much torture do you want to endure? So because you came here and you wanted to hear something that would make you feel better, bigger, badder, badassery. You with me, sister? So if you hear, you have to trust the messenger that is in a place that you simply aren't. And because I love you, I want to pull you out of this disparity that you called it to me today. To say, trust me. That's why you're here in the first place. So because you're here, trust me. Let me pull you in to a better situation. And that situation is, you are not in the situation that you think. It's because you are thinking that you are in the situation. And I know immediately, because I know you, Cheryl, in your beautiful way. Your mind wants to scathe and escape the lesson that was imparted to you. Yes, but I'm healing you right now. I'm giving you something beyond even you're willing possibly to want it. Get out of all the yes, but you don't understand. No one is blah, blah, blah. That is what's killing you. And if you want to really live, regardless if it's 5 more minutes or 5 years or 15 years or 50 more years, we're all going to die. Do we want to hasten it? So the best ploy any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of us. There's always one. I have two hands, but they're in one body. I am one body in this place. And there are one. And so we can continue up the hierarchy, but it's you. You. You are the most important experience in your life, or you, whoever you are, including myself. Are we unfolding unto that experience to such a level that what begins to happen within us beyond our own understanding, because our understanding is not what is required. What is required is the willingness to let go, to experience something beyond understanding, because that's where the juice is. I understand this, but my life is boring, because you're not beyond the juice. You're not in the juice yet, because you're still in understanding. We have to go into understanding to light the torch, the illumination. And as long as we are left in the dark by the thoughts that choke the heart to always want to strive forth and have the will to live, it hastens our demise. It's okay to die. Die gracefully. Don't be scared to death. It compounds the issue immediately, twice fold. It goes from that to that immediately, because it occurs within itself. But I'm scared. Okay, you're scared. Acknowledge it. And don't just say, I'm scared. Tell yourself, God damn it, fuck. I'm scared. There is a very monumental, big difference between I'm scared. This doesn't only relate to death. This relates to the death of a relationship, the death of a job, death. It's the same shit across the board. Nothing changes. The rules apply. You are playing the game of life. Milton Bradley's game of life. And you're spinning and you're hoping that you're trying to be the one winning. There is no winning. You don't win shit. How's that? Get her done. How's that? You don't win. It's not a level you're trying to achieve as a winning kind of, I achieved the golden ring. Yes, it's wonderful to have a goal because it helps us beat our feet, meter ourselves to a future possibility. I get that, but that's not only the deal. The deal is you have to be so involved that in the involvement is the distance that you would take a long time to get to. So death is not that which it seems. So if you're concerned about your death, and the gate is opening up, oh my God, in some strange way, I'm actually almost envious. Chew on that. I know what it's like to be in the spiritual plateau, and I want to be there, but I know that the responsibilities, like Cheryl and others and many people, I have a hold on this world because I want to be in control of it so that when I leave, everything is the way I think it should be so I can leave peacefully. That's what's called nonsense. Doesn't mean that you're not a responsible individual as to why you want to make sure that loose ends are tied and I's are dotted and T's are crossed. That's called being a beautiful, responsible, whole, upright human being. But to what degree do we lean into whatever the vibration? So what this is all really about, again, it's not trivializing someone who might be ill. But either way, the truth is not a tincture, band-aid, nor salve. The truth is the truth. And the truth is, one, this life is not real. Doesn't mean it's not beautiful. It's not real. It's about the experience that you are having in this life that is the true beauty and integral as to why you are having this physical experience. That is what makes all of us human. This may not be the answer Cheryl wants to hear, but you came here to be expanded beyond this place. Disparity was your words. So this place we call death, many of us have seen death firsthand. Our loved one taking their last breath peacefully, mediocre, or violently. And they all have a ripple effect, and we all respond accordingly. As the Buddha says, it's not the situation, it's how you respond to the situation. None of us like death. Heck, none of us like breaking our foot. None of us like eating a pepper that is so hot. Well, how does all this relate, Keith? Because there is another level in death when we lose body consciousness that knows the answer to those very simple, seemingly divided questions. It's a sea of information. And in the body, we seem limited to information because we are not truly in formation. We are not in formation. We are not informed because we are so disconnected to the library of connectivity as to why we think we are separate, and I'm scared to die. I am not absolved of this reality. But some part of me is getting my spiritual juice, my spiritual amaranth, my spiritual manna. And I'm starting to integrate, at least for myself, and what my reference point of what I used to know as Keith and what I now feel in my expansive possibility by doing all the requisite work. Tonight's presentation is Center of Light Life. Ironically, we're speaking about, thanks to my beautiful son who helped me fashion this splash banner, don't fear the Reaper, and he's coming for everyone. All of us. And you have been here before. And here you are again, going through the same cycle. Again, it becomes your greatest possibility. Cheryl, John, Jim, Lisa, Tim, Mark, Keith, Anthony, Tina. It's inevitable. It's coming. So, because every breath you take leads you to your non-breath, it almost makes you want to stop breathing, so that if you have limited breaths, you can cut them off and go, well, I still have 10,000. I'll take one today. Doesn't work that way. It's inevitable, and it's coming. And actually, strangely, as you get older, death exponentiates. But your integration, that link I posted with John Robinson, Dr. John Robinson, go check out that interview. Your integration into spirit, back into spirit, because we're all dying. And we're all integrating back into spirit at our own pace. You can't change that. You can only thwart it by conscious participation. But as we get older, there is a crossfade. There is a grace that is allowed. And it truly becomes, whether you know you're passing, whether you're getting older and you know you're passing because you're older, or you're allowing yourself to fall into the spirit, truly, beyond religion. Yes, but beyond your religion. Because in the presence of God, it all turns to nothing. That's the place I'm talking about. That's the place that none of us can ever sustain our bodies in the first place to have, is that place. That place that is beyond all understanding. It exists in all of us. And when you get glimpses of that place, everyone will share their fear of death. Cheryl, John, Tim, Steve, Lisa, Martin, Jacob. Doesn't matter who you are. So it basically comes down to one choice. Am I going to live to my fullest, especially knowing that your card has been pulled? Do you feel me? And if you have been given, ironically, the heads up that your card has been pulled, strangely, it almost seems like a great grace to know such a thing so that you can begin to live what is truly important to you versus bickering it away, wishing it away, being mad at it away. So in some ironic possibility, someone says, you've been kissed on the face to say, now go live the rest of your life. So to whoever you are, and I say this for myself, it's coming. It's not doom and gloom. It's the greatest transition of life. Every time someone passes, someone's born. It's the beautiful cycle, the circle of life sung by Elton John. What a beautiful idea of a movie and soundtrack. That's the program. That's the train I ride. And when we all ride that train, even in death, a new aspect of ourself is born. I can't alleviate anyone's death that may be nigh. I don't remember dying to ever be able to be that teacher. I can tell you what it's like to leave my body into the realms of spirit. Sounds to me they're pretty close. I lose the density, except I get to come back. But those in death, same possibility. You leave the density, you crossfade into another multidimensional reality, depending on your mindset, depending on your heart set, depending on how you set yourself and what you call your own experience, what you set yourself to deem what you're worth, blessing or curse, fear or mirth, heaven or earth, as above, so below, on forever it will go. Who you are is who you are, no matter what plane you exist on. I know people who live in hell on this plateau, and they want out, insinuating that it has to be a greater degree of heaven. It's all determined personally. But anything you do out of folly, anything you do out of unconscious jolly, you will repeat. May I repeat myself? You will repeat. That is how divine law is upheld, and justice is always purposeful and true. There is no God with a hammer that will smite you. It's the religion and the dogmatic principle that smites you, and the belief of how you feel about yourself that can only smite you greater than any idea of a God could ever. Clever, isn't it? How the monkey is. Ooh, Death. You died from yesterday. Tomorrow morning you're going to die. It may not alleviate your woes or your concerns about the inevitable that is already here, because we're all moving into the window of death as we get older. They dovetail and crossfade into each other. What is most important, whoever you are, is that you find yourself to forever be planted in the crossfading so that you never lose sight of every step you take towards your destiny. That is called being conscious. versus being a sheep, an unconscious fish that moves with the school. What school are you moving with? There is nothing I can say as a teacher. More, I can say it differently, which I will take a break and come back. Tonight's presentation is called Center of Light Life. Don't fear the Reaper. Ironically, I've been speaking about death, inspired by my sister, Cheryl, who has been living for many years with the fear of death. I personally, as a teacher, I think she has more of a fear of death than she's having death come upon her. I may be wrong, and again, Cheryl, my apologies. I am not trying to trivialize your reality. I am willing to work with you, but you have to abandon and truly die. You actually have to die, Cheryl, for whatever I can teach you to actually allow you to live, however much time you have, to ever take effect. I could be the cause, and you can allow it to affect you if you choose. That's my gift to you. I volleyed the ball to you. Now it belongs to you. What are you going to do with it? I love you. Gonna be right back. I got a video I'm going to play for you by Sadhguru about death and what happens after death. What happens after life, death. Time for a change. Surely as the rain may fall, I wonder why. Worried there'll come a time when my world is dry, oh so dry. In the summertime, I won't have no water. A little bit harder to take. Lonely as I contemplate a billion stars, leaving my hands to fate. That's all I've got, all I've got. In the summertime, I won't have no water. It's a little bit harder to Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight we're talking about the greatest. It's not fun. Can be, I'm assuming. Transition in life. The greatest transition in life is death. For the person who is being birthed consciously, more so back to the divine. But it's a great transition for those around whoever is affected. This is not making trivial or light of anyone's situation, but it is about bringing such things to the light for the situation itself, which creates a greater degree of peace, so someone can be alive while they are alive and not bring death upon themselves while they are alive, to cancel out the effect of why they were ever earthed and birthed in the first place. Someone just posted something and I want to read it, and I want to say thank you. Give me one moment. This is worth reading. It's gorgeous. Milo Fryman says, "For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. Neither have they any more a reward. For the memory of them is forgotten, as well their love, as their hatred and their envy is perished long ago. Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun." What is that saying? I'm going to vessel it. I have no idea logically. So I'm going to die logically, intention-wise at least, to fall into something that I feel that is saying, do you remember me? And I mean it. And I mean it as well back. No death. Nonsense. Very serious for those who are in that, in the sense that they are focusing on it, and it's causing nothing but dismay. We are hearing you. We experience you as we watch you. To no delay, no dismay of yours, it should be any longer. How much will you hang on? In the parable, what has been offered is that it all burns away because it's all transient. It's all visual and auditory and mental static. It's noise. Tune your dial. God has a frequency. Tune in. Simple in idea, powerful in manifestation. It will begin to sprout within you because you are in listening distance of Spirit's voice. Do you hear it? You have no choice. You've already heard it. Now it takes hold of you, and you will think of this often. And a part of you will find yourself in a coffin, looking back on the old you, the transit you that burns away. How is that? God bless you. From my bestseller, The Divine Principle, I want to show you one aspect of my life's work. My bestseller, From the Divine Principle, I asked Spirit the question, is there such thing as Judgment Day? And Spirit says yes, but it is not I who will be the judge. As I have said before, it is you who have been and always will be the judge of yourself. When your human death happens, you can expect to be shown your whole life from beginning to end. The question is, applies to everyone. How do you judge yourself now, and how will you judge yourself then? And here's the kicker. Is there really a difference between the two? I guess there isn't. And Spirit continues, do you feel that you deserve love now, beloved? Will you accept it? Will you show yourself mercy? I am posing these kickstart questions to get you to move through the lingering fear you have about me, meaning God, before that inevitable day, so that you can avoid repeating the same mistakes in your next reality. Because even though you may have some residual belief in a judgmental God, I assure you that judgment does not exist in me. I say to all, whosoever continues to hold on to judgmental beliefs, let me say that again so I can hear it. Whosoever continues to hold on to judgmental beliefs will find their lives filled with much needless effort, wow, and wasted energy. Your precious time on earth will be spent in slavery. Inherent in all law is the whole of the divine principle. It will take your heart to fully comprehend them because they are formless, above and beyond your language. But the sooner you become open to them, ground them, and master them, the sooner you can come home. There is no need, oh my God, listen to this. There is no need to wait until death for life, for living my divine principles will grant you life throughout your life. That's the deal. That's the deal. There is no other deal. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. It's a beautiful experience if we allow ourselves to die gracefully. So I'm now going to play some Sadhguru for you. Understand, this is God on earth. I'm going to see who is all here. Hello, everyone, for sticking around. Everyone in YouTube land. I loves me some Sistham. Hello, Pri. Let's look here. Drew says he will come. Drew, let's hook up. I'm wrapping up my presentation shortly, within 15 minutes. Let's chat. So stay here. Let's chat. Cheryl, thank you for being so honest and open with your vulnerability on any level, to whatever level it means. And because it means something to you, it means something to me. It always does. I want to help you get out of what could be potentially a dire situation, to a higher situation, if you're willing to acquire that situation. Hello, beautiful Kelly. All right, so as we move forth, hello, Mary. Hello, beautiful Nori, Krista, Angela, all these beautiful people, Dagny, Christopher, Waverly, Debbie, Michelle, Lisa, Kelly, and all these sexy, oh my God, people. All right, so let's finish this off with Sadhguru. You are going to experience God on earth. You can run away, or you can be curious and allow some part of you that no longer serves you, that your soul has been longing for. You can allow that part of you to die on all levels in order for something else to be reborn. I don't write the laws. I do my conscious best to follow them. And he's going to share with all of us what it's like after we leave the body. Just be open to a new possibility. It doesn't require anything else. Oh my God, I love it! Sadhguru on what happens after you die. Check it out, it's beautiful.
Once the body is gone, is there individuality after the end of the body? Do I exist as I? Do I have a soul? Is there reincarnation? Or is it just my ego that is saying, actually, even when I let my body go, there is an I that still exists? But if that I then forms part of the larger universe, then it has no identity. It's a question and I can't answer it to people, so would you answer it for me so I can tell people that I'm quite wise now?
See, it's very clear. If you close your eyes and sit, right now you're looking at me. If you close your eyes, you cannot see me. But you are still there, isn't it? So right now, is it you who is looking at me? Or is it your eyes which are looking at me? So it's you who is looking at me.
Yeah.
Through the window of your eyes, you're looking at me. If you close the window,
Yeah.
do you still exist?
I still exist.
So, you are clearly saying you are much more than the body, isn't it?
Yes.
And you also know very clearly that this body you slowly accumulated.
Yes.
Or in other words, what you call as my body is just a bit of loan that you have taken from Mother Earth, just a piece of the planet. She's pretty generous.
No, it's very generous. Yeah.
She's pretty generous with the loan. But when the time comes, she wants to collect it atom by atom. See, now I hold this pebble in my hand.
Yeah.
Initially I say, this is my pebble, I'm not willing to give it to you. After some time, I start thinking, this is me. Now when the time comes that anyway this pebble is going to be taken from me, I'm being terrorized because I'm being taken away. You're not being taken away. Only the food that you gathered, the piece of planet that you gathered in the form of this body, the planet is asking it back. If only you were aware this is only something I've accumulated, not intellectually. Every moment if you are constantly aware that I am not this body, this is just mine, all right. This is just a gathering. I've accumulated this, I'll use it, and when it's necessary, I'll drop it. If this awareness was there all the time in your life, death would be just change of clothes, isn't it? It's actually more simple than that. So what happens after? Okay, I paid back the loan. The question is only willingly or unwillingly, but whichever way, the loan gets taken. Your body, as you know it, physical body, has to go to the earth because it belongs to the earth. But there is a subtler body, which is like a scaffolding. Only because the subtle body is there as a scaffolding, you can build this gross body. You eat a banana, it becomes body, you eat a piece of bread, it becomes body, you eat a brinjal, it becomes body, because there is a subtler scaffolding. This body that you see, the physical body, is only gathering around the subtler body. So when this body falls, the subtle body, which is generally referred to as etheric body or whatever else, is still on. It still has some information, but the important difference is, when you had a physical body and a conscious mind, you had a discriminatory capability. So once the body falls down along with your thinking mind, logical mind, and a discriminatory aspect of the mind is fallen, there is no more discrimination. You only happen by tendencies. So still there are certain tendencies. Why so much care in every culture, particularly in this culture, that at the moment of death, if a man is dying, no matter what your relationship with him, you try to utter the God's name or you try to create the right kind of atmosphere for him. Even if he's your enemy, you say Ram, Nam, Satya, whatever, you know, whatever simple things have been taught to the people, but something to create awareness and pleasantness around him because you want him to leave well. Because at the moment of leaving, in case he is in a certain mode, whatever the mode is, let's say he's in fear mode right now. Now once he loses the discriminatory mind, now there's no control over the fear. See, many times fear arises in your life. Because of your discriminatory mind, you'll say, that's okay, but that it's not like this. You'll reason and try to get out of it. If there is no discriminatory mind, it just snowballs into paranoia. Paranoia not like as living human beings know. Paranoia which grows into a million, billion folds because there's complete absence of discriminatory mind. But suppose you create pleasantness at that moment of death, now this pleasantness also multiplies into a millionfold over, because there is no discriminatory mind. Whether it's sweetness or bitterness, pleasantness or unpleasantness, all of this can take on a big proportion if only there is no discriminatory mind. So even when people are living, very little of their discriminatory mind they're using, mostly they're functioning by tendency, which is unfortunate. But once you've shed the body, there is no other way. You will only go by tendency. Unless you've reached a certain level of awareness where you can carry a certain dimension of awareness with you. Otherwise, whatever is your quality will snowball into something very big. If it snowballs into unpleasantness, we say he's in hell. If it snowballs into pleasantness, we say he's in heaven. So heaven and hell are not geographical places. It is a state that somebody gets into.
And then reincarnation.
You want to come back now? So if there is substantial amount of information still stored, which is the karma, the karmic substance is still strong, then once, suppose you left out of feebleness of energy, that is, you became old, energies became feeble and it rested for some time. So this kind of life energy just rests for some time without too much activity. But suppose the energies did not become feeble, but you broke the body by accident or suicide, or somebody shot you in the head, or somebody broke your heart, whichever way you broke the body and you left, energies were still intense. Now, this will take a long time for it to become feeble without the body and the mind. If you had a regular body and the discriminatory mind, let us say you would have worked out your karma in the next 10 years and made the energies feeble. But now that you don't have a body, these 10 years may telescope into 1,000 years. So this is the reason always they told you should never die of suicide, you never should be murdered, accidental death is bad, because now your limbo situation is long, very, very long, because you have no discriminatory mind, we don't know which way you will roll, and the chances of finding another womb are very little because you're in a certain level of intensity you cannot find. So unless you come to the right level of intensity, you are not suitable to take on a new body. So if you died of old age, energies became feeble, everything is fine with your body, you went to bed and you never woke up. Such a person may get back into another womb within 48 hours. But a person who died by breaking his body, either by accident or otherwise, this person may take we don't know how long, depending upon what level of intensity and how much of the information is still there, unworked out. We are going into areas which needs much more elaboration if it needs to be properly understood. Speaking just like this is not good.
Welcome back to Center of Light. It was laid out. That's the process. The process is purgatory is not what we think. It's the process of continuing the cycle and be caught up in nowhere. Nowhere meaning the being in the highest stratus to where we can go back to a level of consciousness to have such joy in our life, hence the point heaven on earth prophecy. Tonight is Center of Light Life. Ironically, we are talking about don't fear the reaper as in death, which is the greatest transition in life. It affects not only yourself in a divine way, it affects everyone around you that you leave behind divinely. Is your life transition one of just absolutely joyful because I'm just full of life? Or is it full of dismay, discord, and ongoing, never-ending strife, only because you just simply don't know how to grab the nuggets that you deserve, to put them into your spiritual mouth, to take it in as manna? We are made of flesh and we are man. So man up to where you are and stop hyper focusing, anxiety stricken on your death, and hyper focus and stay steadfast and fixed on your life. I am not in that situation, so I can't begin to imagine that. All I can do as a teacher is tell you that I know what it's like to leave my body through spiritual experiences to another level of being. It's the same idea. I'm leaving the gross, the material, the matter, the nonsense, the hard-headedness we are as people, all that stuff that stays earthly, while I release and go into a soul experience, out-of-body experience, angelic experience with your deceased grandmother, grandfather, so forth and so on. We've all had them. What this really is that you're losing a bodily identity, and you're falling to spirit identity as to why you're going to have sad experiences in the first place. In death, the difference would be you just don't come back. You don't just leave your body to go have an out-of-body experience, or you wake up in an out-of-body experience and you didn't notice the crossover phase, the transition phase, the moving into the lighter center of lighter experience. Because in that light blast I just gave everyone, including myself, is everything. There's all information in there. So there is no death. I understand it does not alleviate your possible worry for what may be nigh for anyone. It will find us all. It's inevitable. No one gets out of here alive. When we understand that fully, be it present, somewhat present, still off a good way, I don't have to see it for a while. It's not certain. If we are, check this out. You want some relief no matter who you are? Even if you are a God-realized man, it's still coming for you. It's still coming. Because the physical body, the mechanics, the machine, is meant to die. From dust thou art, to dust thou shall be. It's all transient, which gives rise to the truth. And I'm going to tell you all good night. The truth is, it's the fire. Water would be the expression. Earth would be the fact. Air would be the breath. You can't get out of that. That is the eternal way of things. Or are we choosing to be in the eternal way of things, so that in the way of things we can have eternity? It's all a nonsensical question. The joke is on all of us. When we decide to laugh at ourselves and laugh at what we think we know and understanding, you become the jokester yourself. God bless you. You are loved beyond measure.